When you think of Mississippi, maybe you picture cotton fields and hanging Spanish moss. But if you venture past the highways, from the rugged ridges of the Freedom Hills all the way down to the murky Gulf, you find a landscape where legends thrive. Deep in the piney woods and lost in the delta swamps, something else is out there. Set aside everything you think you know about the Magnolia State, and let's search the dark woods together. Welcome to Mississippi Monsters. Welcome back to Mississippi Monsters. It has been a minute. Tonight we got a little bit something special in order to kick off this year, and hopefully, Lord willing, to kick off quite a long time for us to keep this show on the road. Now, I've promised quite a few people that I was wanting to get this back going, and a lot of people have been emailing me. There have been people that has been reaching out through friends of the family, asking when I was going to get this kicked back off. And tonight's tonight, but we're going to do a little bit something special. Yes, I am going to throw in a few stories at the end of tonight, but like I said, I wanted to do something a little bit different. So, I have brought in my wife and daughter, and they are skeptics. You would think, since I'm the father of the house, that they would just believe what I've got to say, but no. It can't be that easy. And I know all of you out there more than likely have somebody in y'all's family or immediate family that have questioned what you have seen and what encounters that you have, encountered. So tonight, what I have chose to do is I have typed on the Gemini 5 questions that I needed to ask skeptics, but skeptics that are family members, and it generated 5 questions, and I wanted to hear my wife and my daughter's take. Now, this is not scripted on their end. They're going to tell you how they feel, and basically they're going to tell you what they tell me every time I open my mouth about this subject. So tonight we have my wife, Carrie, and we have my daughter, Lainey, and let them introduce themselves and kind of give a little bit of background about how they feel about this first, and then we're going to jump into it. So, starting with first, my wife.
Hi there. My name's Carrie. I don't really believe in Bigfoot. Don't really know what else to say.
So I'm just going to let y'all know up front, this might be a little bit awkward, but we embrace the awkwardness around our family, so we're going to rock with it.
Hi, my name's Lainey. I do kind of believe in Bigfoot, but since I've never seen him before, I don't really know, but yeah.
All right, so we're going to kick off these questions. So question number 1, we're going to go in this order. We're going to let Lainey answer first on these questions, and then we're going to allow my wife. These questions are kind of geared kind of to be a little fun, but I really want to know what they think about it. So question number 1, since you both don't believe in things like Bigfoot, and I don't know why my daughter said what she said earlier, because she doesn't, but anyway, since you both don't believe in things like Bigfoot, what would it actually take to change your mind? If a video can be faked with computers, what kind of proof would make you say, wow, it really is real?
I would like to see it with my own eyes. Yeah. Here's my mom.
So I'm thinking the proof I would need is like a Harry and the Hendersons kind of encounter, where I see Bigfoot like cross the road or something.
If only those encounters were that simple. No, they're going to give you the PG version, and I guarantee you everybody wishes that if they've encountered Bigfoot, or if they ever wanted to encounter Bigfoot, it would be like that Harry and the Hendersons movie. It would be very nice to handle mentally and emotionally compared to some other stories and my own experience. So moving along, number 2. Mississippi has a ton of deep, dark woods. When people are out there and swear they saw a monster, what do you think they're actually seeing? Is it just a shadow, a bear, or is it their imagination playing tricks on them because the woods are spooky?
I think sometimes it is a bear, and sometimes it's just their imagination. Because bears can be a little spooky sometimes.
For me, honestly, I think it's a lot of their imagination. It's all the stories you hear and the darkness and the shadows, and I just really think it's sometimes our minds playing tricks on us.
I also think they just want to get attention sometimes.
That's what a lot of people say. Some people believe that people just run their mouths just so they can get their 15 minutes of fame. And it's a sad truth that I actually believe some people do tell hoaxes or create hoaxes in order to do that. But in the cryptid world, just to kind of let y'all get introduced to it a little bit more, the terminology, there is something called pareidolia. That is, yeah, I know, it sounds kind of crazy, but it's where you look at something hard enough and you can see a face appear when there's not one there. So if you believe hard enough that a Bigfoot is looking at you through a hedge bush and you take a picture of it, guess what you're going to see?
Bigfoot.
Right.
So is it like when you say a word so many times it becomes like silly? Like
yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Well, I guess kind of like that.
Yeah, just trying to make sense. Okay. Sorry.
So it's basically if you want something to exist, your mind's going to create that illusion. And unfortunately, some encounters have not been faces looking through them in a bush, quote unquote. So some of the encounters that I've read, my own personal encounter, I wish it was like that. But yeah, I can completely understand. It would take something tangible for y'all to see. And I think it would be really hard for you to believe somebody once they say it, because personally, me giving y'all my own stories, y'all still find it quite hard to believe. They're giving me the stink eye. I know you can't see that through this voice recording. All right, moving on to number 3. If you found out tomorrow that one legendary creature was actually 100% real, which one do you think moves the most or makes the most sense? A giant ape hiding in the trees, or a giant wolf walking on 2 legs? Or is there another type of cryptid you think would be easier to believe? Go ahead.
A giant ape or a giant wolf?
I already know a giant wolf, bro.
What? Oh my gosh. My daughter's indicating that I am the giant wolf, but no. But which one would you actually think would be more likely to exist?
Bigfoot, because you say it's real.
Oh. Score a point for Dad.
No, take off that point.
All right, my better half.
I don't know. I would probably lean more towards the giant ape, the Bigfoot, simply because I think there's probably more stories that exist that align more with that idea rather than a giant wolf on 2 legs.
Yeah, it makes sense. Especially since we have giant apes that exist in Africa. I mean, it's a little bit easier for a mental leap to take place for an ape since we can see one. But I think it's harder to take that leap whenever you're talking about a dog that walks on 2 legs and people can't wrap their heads around it unless they can see it. So I can easily understand that leap that you're taking mentally. All right, question number 4. Do you think people imagine seeing these creatures because they watch scary movies and YouTube videos, Do you think there's a real reason people in Mississippi have been telling these stories for a long time? I think we kind of alluded to this question earlier, but let's see what y'all's take is on this.
I feel like they say it for a reason because they want, their 15 minutes of fame. But I feel like some people actually do see bears and other types of creatures. I mean, maybe there's a creature that scientists haven't found yet, but yeah.
I think it's kind of a combination. I mean, I go back to Harry and the Hendersons. You see these movies growing up. I mean, this is a movie and a TV show that came out when we were much younger. And so you see these things and you have these ideas, these preconceived notions of what Hollywood has come up with. I mean, I don't think Hollywood just fabricates these stories. I think there could be some truth to it. But, I mean, I would like to see proof myself before I say that I actually believe in it.
Why, sweetheart, it sounds like you might be opening up to the idea or the mere possibility. What do you think?
I don't know.
Okay, I guess we're moving to question number 5 then. Living with me and knowing how much I love spooky stories, how have I ever told you one that actually gave you goosebumps or made you a little bit nervous to look out the window at night?
Yep.
Okay, then.
Care to elaborate?
Is that one where you said you were under like a stage or something and there was something walking? He told me on a bus ride home. That was freaking me out, bro.
At the church.
I'm going to have to go back in this channel to see if I've actually shared that here. I think I have. But if not, I will include this at the end of this episode. But
It's freaking me out.
yeah. What about you, wife?
Give me the question again just so I can be sure I answer it correctly.
All right, question 5 again. Living with me and knowing how much I love spooky stories, have I ever told you one that actually gave you goosebumps or made you a little bit nervous to look out the window at night?
Yes. I do think, while I'm not completely sold on the idea of Bigfoot, I do think there are things out there that can give us pause in the dark. You watch enough crime shows and all these things, and I mean, it's kind of, it's hard not to look over your shoulder sometimes when you're outside and it's dark.
Well, has there been a story that I told you personally?
Well, I mean, your Bigfoot stories kind of scary because I know where this is. I know this place. I've driven by it dozens of times. So even driving through there, I still kind of look off into the woods when we drive through because, I mean, you say it's real. I just haven't seen it myself. So, I mean, it does kind of give you pause sometimes riding through there.
My aunt makes it worse. Every time she's over at the house next to us, which is my mama's, she always sneaks up behind me in the dark, and it's not fun. So that just makes it worse.
Yeah, my sister has a tendency of making sure that she can get the better of people. She does love that.
Yep.
All right, so I didn't tell you all this, but I kind of have a few extra fun questions. Not anything to kind of take too seriously, but just to kind of have fun with it in order to wrap up this little interview that we have going on here. So, question 6. If Bigfoot knocked on our front door tonight and told us he was lost, would you let him crash on the couch? Or would you let him sleep in the backyard?
Oh, no! Even if he did sleep in the backyard, our dogs wouldn't be good for him. Or it wouldn't be good for our dogs, so anyway.
If I won't let our dirty corgi come in the house, then I'm pretty sure I'm not going to let Bigfoot sleep on the couch.
I hear you. I don't think our little hunting dog Camo would like it very much either. But on the other hand, our little Max may enjoy the big pillow. I mean, he is quite friendly with all the cats and our big white dog outside. So question number 7. If you could have one superpower from a monster, like being able to camouflage like Bigfoot or run as fast as Dogman, which one would you choose and what would you do with it?
Well, it's not the one you just mentioned, but it's a flying thing. It's like Mothman. No.
Yeah,
Mothman.
Yeah.
I would want to fly. Cause I watch all these videos with my papa and my dad. So, I would want to fly, and I kind of want to scare some people too. It would be fun just to fly over the world, though. Scare some people. It'd be funny.
You just made your dad proud. I hadn't even talked about Mothman, and you just pull that out of the air. Man.
Well, let me just follow that up by saying I think I would just like to run fast so I can get to places faster.
Yeah.
Sweet and simple. That's what I'm talking about. All right, question 8. The ultimate hide and seek. If Bigfoot was just a regular animal that's really good at hiding, what do you think his secret is? Where is the best hiding spot in Mississippi for a 7-foot tall, hairy monster?
Well, I think you got that question from that painting over there. But anyways, I think his best option would be in a really deep forest with a lot of tangles and stuff, because people aren't gonna be able to get to it. I mean, if they bring a whole big bulldozer, I mean they might, but yeah, I feel like in some bushy areas.
I feel like there's a lot of wooded area in the state of Mississippi that hasn't been fully explored. So I think there would be a lot of possibility for him to hide if he is such a good camouflager. I think that'd probably be the best thing.
He would also have to find a place for Mama Foot and Littlefoot. Just saying.
Yeah, that makes sense. Something that big to stay unnoticed for quite some time. I think we'd have to find a special spot, indeed. But tonight, that's going to conclude the questions. So just stay tuned, and we'll get into story time. And don't forget, I'll be sharing what my daughter has brought up about the stairs and the footsteps. If I haven't previously mentioned that later.
So
Y'all stay tuned.
Bye.
All right, so now tonight we're going to get into a little bit of story time. With it being crunch time, and I was trying to hurry up and roll out this episode, I was only able to get one story that I had permission to share here on the podcast, or whatever you want to call it. But I got this email a while back from this guy named Scott Davis, and I thought it was pretty cool. It's kind of a short encounter, but I'm going to tell you what, where this is, and it makes a lot of sense, and maybe do a lot of research that I'll probably share later. But here we go. I'm going to read it verbatim from the email, and we're going to go from there. From Scott Davis. I ran across your YouTube video and wanted to share with you that in 1988 or 1989, not exactly sure of the date, me and a friend of mine saw a large black cat with a long tail run across the road in front of a car while we were driving through Bayou Pierre Swamp on Klein Road, about a quarter mile west of the bridge. We were headed home from work, and it was approximately 1 a.m. in the morning. It was much too big to be a house cat. Hope this helps your cause. Scott, I appreciate you. I hope you're still listening. I believe this was back in 2025, or maybe just into January when I saw this. But continuing on with that, I have to say that hearing the location is not surprising. After looking into it, Bayou Pierre is really cool and an old waterway. After looking into it a little bit more, Bayou Pierre actually means Stony River because of its unique ledges and gravel bars. It kind of cuts a winding path through. It's kind of like a dense forest, like a bottomland, just covered in a whole bunch of hardwoods. Man, I think it's perfect. It's a great highway for something that don't want to be found. The bridge. He said it was about a quarter mile away from the bridge. So what's so special about that? Well, if you know that animals trying to cross the water, they don't always like being in the water. So those bridges can act like a corridor. They can help be a pathway. And I know it's a little bit west of there, but who's to say uh, there wasn't a reason why that cat was over there. But this is where the mystery deepens a little bit. Now, as we talked about on the Panther episode before, that biologists or conservationists or anybody else like that in government capacity, they will outright deny that these cats exist. But here's the thing. Um, Here in Mississippi, we have something called Panther Swamp. It's a refuge that I know a lot of people go hunting, especially duck hunting and deer hunting, and they love that location. So here's here's what I can't wrap my head around. They will allow a place to be called Panther Swamp, but is it just supposed to like not make sense to anybody else that there could possibly have been sightings of panthers in that swamp? But you know what? I ain't gonna touch that one right now. But also around that area, this is going to be in the area of Copiah County, close to Wesson. Um, there's the stories of a phantom black panther, and those stories have been there since the Civil War. But you know what? I'm going to let that be for another episode. But I'm going to continue to roll with this. I'm going to try my best not to make myself do too much editing on this story that I promised to share with y'all here tonight. As my interview happened with my daughter, she kind of alluded to some of the things that I had told her in the past, things I've encountered. And I know at the beginning of this channel, I said I wasn't going to touch things ghostly or demonic. But I think in the world that we're living in right now, the way culture is shifting, I think there is a need for Christians to address these things. This shouldn't be just uh, taboo to be talked about in just secular circles, only allowed to be talked about in secular circles, but Christians need to acknowledge things are out there. I mean, if we believe in the Bible and everything in the Bible, we also need to believe that there are things out there that is addressed in the Bible. And so this is going to be one of the things that I shared with my daughter. Um, so let's, instead of chasing rabbits, let me go into the story. My wife and I, we had just met. We wasn't married yet, and so I started attending the church that she was at, and we were doing this production called Judgment House. Now, if any of y'all are down in the South, down in Texas, y'all probably heard of churches, some Southern Baptist churches, doing something called Judgment House. And I was helping with this. And the scene that I was the director of, was the judgment scene. Well, the location of this scene that I was helping to do was in a room underneath the stairs leading into our gymnasium that we have at our church, or at my former church. And at the time, I was a teacher, and so my days were shot. And so we could only get ready for it that week. And the weekdays, I had limited time. And so this is before we got married. I had a lot of time to kill in the afternoons, at night. But for some reason, something had happened, and I wasn't able to get out there until about, I don't know, about 11 o'clock that night. So I was trying to hurry up and get some things done. So I went to the church, to that room at 11 o'clock at night, to start trying to figure out the decorations. Now, how this is set up is, it is a very big building. Our fellowship hall is attached to it. We have a multi-purpose room that was attached to it. And there's a hallway leading straight to this stage. And there's stairs on both sides leading down to the gym, which is on a lower level. And on that same lower level as the gym, underneath the stairs, was where I was preparing for Judgment House. And so I was getting after it. 11:30, 11:45 rolled around, and all the other lights were off. And the reason I had to have the lights off is so I can see exactly how the lights that I was setting up was going to shine. And so I know it was kind of eerie and kind of dumb, but I was in my early 20s and honestly I wasn't thinking too much about it. And so close to midnight, uh, I had heard a door open. Well, I figured that the pastor, he had saw that my truck was down there and maybe wanted to come check on me. So I didn't think nothing about it. I was still getting after it. And then I heard it sounded like children laughing. And so this 12 o'clock at night, it sounded like children were laughing. And I heard footsteps above my head, which were on the stage. And it was not just like a single pair of footsteps. It was multiple footsteps. I mean, like more than three. That's what it sounded like to me. And so I was like, why in the world does somebody have children here this late at night? And then I started hearing the footsteps come down the stairs. And yeah, it kind of startled me. And so I opened the door, took a look around, and it was just pitch black. It was just darkness. There was nothing. And needless to say, I immediately finished putting all my stuff up, grabbed my keys, and I was out of there. It scared the ever living mess out of me. And see, what's funny about this church is even I was told whenever I first started attending before I became a member, is that this church is known for two other ghosts or apparitions, angels, whatever you want to call it. The old sanctuary, which was used as just classroom space and a choir room, was known as this place for this ghost that was an elderly woman that used to attend there. Everybody knew the story. Everybody acknowledged it. It wasn't scary. Everybody just accepted it for what it was. And it was just, I mean, everybody knew that occasionally you're going to see an older woman that has passed, that has walked by a door frame or a door opening, and she was going to be gone. She would appear, she was going to be gone. And just people acknowledged that. And then on another occasion, our former pastor, late former pastor, was in his study. It was kind of later at night, I believe, how he was telling us. And he had a visitor come walk by his office, his pastoral study, and I believe this visitor was in a suit and tie. He walked by the door, looked at our pastor, then walked right by. Now, mind you, all the doors were locked because the pastor checked on that afterwards. The pastor called out. He saw this man clear as day, but whenever he went to approach him, went to ask him something, he was gone. So the story, I mean, the church has history, but it wasn't anything scary or petrifying. I think I may have made the story or the encounter that I had a little bit scarier than what it actually was, but it startled me. But at the same time, this church, it has history, but I can't wrap my head around it. I'm not really going to share too much about what church it is because I don't want people just trying to go figure it out and just show up for no reason. But yeah, I did tell my daughter that. I think she had actually overheard me telling somebody else, and so she started inquiring, as in bugging the ever living mess out of me until I finally told her. But yeah, that's the story my daughter was alluding to, and so I hope y'all have fun with that. But until I meet y'all again on another episode, podcast, or whatever again we want to call this thing, just remember, there's boogers in those woods.